Winning is an inside-out phenomenon. Achieving and sustaining success, facilitating, participating in these processes is an inside-out. I've made many, many references today to behavioral choices, but underlying all of those are the mental choices, and I am convinced from, again, the many life experiences that I've had that it's the mental choices that contain the real power. And I'll close with one more story, one more experience, one more example. One of the two experiences in my life that has proven beyond any shadow of a doubt just how powerful mental choices are. This event occurred on August 1st, 1988. I had spent the day working with a client in Austin, where I live, was driving home late in the afternoon, broad daylight on a road, windy road in the hills west of Austin. I was doing 40 miles an hour, the speed limit. I was in my lane. I was acting right, ladies and gentlemen. What I didn't know was there was a 17-year-old lad who had spent the day setting some sort of new indoor-outdoor beer drinking record. He was coming the opposite direction on the same road. They estimate he was doing about 50 miles an hour, and around a bend in the road, he lost control of his and hit me head on. Sudden stop. Now, my car didn't have an airbag, but I was wearing a shoulder harness and a lap belt, so the only injuries I sustained were a concussion, a broken collarbone, a broken wrist, a broken back, and a perforated intestine. Could have been seriously injured if I didn't have my seatbelt on, I guess. The kid had a broken nose. That's it. Now, I'm not a physician, but as I understand it, the more limber you are at the time of impact, the better. And the kid was near liquid at the time of impact. We are medevaced to Brackenridge Hospital. A couple of days later, I'm starting to come around. I'm on a board. There's tubes everywhere. The surgeon's there, the nurse there, Barbara. They saw I was waking up and called a meeting, I guess, and came around and explained to me what had happened, explained to me the extent of the injuries, the prognosis, and then they got around to telling me about the kid who had been kept overnight for observation, charged with DWI, and released to the custody of his parents the next morning. Mental choice time. What sort of thoughts do you think I had about the lad? Well, I can't tell you what I thought, but I can tell you that the feelings that I created were hatred. Are you with me? And I would vacillate from hating him to self-pity. I was doing classic what? Classic victim. I was wallowing big time. Now, let's step back from this for a second. Had I been a victim? Yes, of course I had. But here's the key. The minute we become consciously aware of our status, we begin making choices about that and about the events that contributed to it. And those choices will create emotions that'll either contribute to or hold us back in whatever it is we're trying to do. In this case, my body's trying desperately to get better. You with me? Does it take energy to hate? It does. I didn't have energy to spare. And so I'm wallowing in this. And my wife, Barbara, who I've mentioned several times today, she lives these things that I write and speak about. She's my model in life. She put up with my victimhood for about 24 hours. New record for Barb. Then she came to me in a very loving way, I'm sure, said something like, I know you're upset and I know you're uncomfortable, but I also know the way you're behaving is totally contrary to the things you profess to believe and write and speak about. Leaving me no choice but to shift my hatred from that kid to her. I'm going to hate somebody, by God, and I guess it'll be you. No, I didn't do that, but I didn't like it, but was she right? Yes, she's always right. She never gets tired of it. I had been thinking about that kid and myself. Here's the conclusion that she helped me come to, the right conclusion. I got to think about something else. And that may sound easy. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I've got to think. I've got to stop this wallowing. I've got to think about something else. So I started thinking about Barb. She was with me every day and every night in the hospital. She went on once a day to shower and change clothes. She slept in a chair if she slept. If I was awake, she was awake. If I needed to be loved, she was there. If I needed a swift kick, she was happy to administer that. And the woman is physically beautiful. So I thought a lot about her. I'm not going to tell you what I thought, but I thought a lot about her. And it worked. 26 days after the wreck. Surgery, lost about 35 pounds. I got to go home. I couldn't drive. I couldn't walk. I couldn't work. But I got to go home. And a week later, I started being able to do a little bit more work. But the most amazing event, and the event that convinced me beyond any shadow of a doubt that mental choices are extremely powerful, this event occurred approximately 9.5 months after I got out of the hospital. I can tell that number 9 months ring a bell for some of you. That's when our daughter Annie was born. What's the point? Well, can't keep a good man down, I guess you're thinking, right? No! What's the point? No, that's not the point. The point is that setbacks are inevitable, and they will have an impact on us, but I submit to you, as I have from the beginning, it's the choices we make about the setbacks that ultimately determine the impact that they have. I'm going to leave you with something I came up with a few years ago. I call it the rule. Coming from the Marine Corps, a lot of rules, so I came up with what I call the rule. And you can see, only you can choose the quality of your days. Do you believe that? What good's a rule if it hasn't an application? So I came up with one of those. To have exceptional days, stop looking for exceptions to the rule. Make sense? Where are we looking for exceptions? Out there. I'm not happy with this anymore, so here's a change I want you to make. Just envision this change if you don't have it in front of you. Scratch out the words only and can, and what do you have in the rule? You choose the quality of your days. Is that more accurate? Because if we say only you can, what's the implication? You can choose not to. Not so. You choose the quality of your days. And under the application, scratch it all out. And here's what it would read. There are no exceptions to the rule. The rule says you choose the quality of your days. In the application, there are no exceptions to the rule. No kidding.